All right, everybody. Do you know what time it is? It's time for you to have a seat, relax, take a deep breath. Let's do this together because we have a lot to talk about. It is still Friday, July 5th, 2019. This is my post-market wrap-up. Let's start off with the basic stuff. Stocks finished across the board slightly negative, nothing major, just about at the flat line. Okay, earlier today, stocks were getting walloped. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 1%, 230-something points. And then, you know what happened? A miracle. A miracle happened. Our president came out on live TV bashing the Federal Reserve, and I mean hardcore. Basically demanding that the Federal Reserve institute more easy money policies for as far as the eye can see and beyond that. He made it very clear that he believes that the Federal Reserve needs to start pumping huge amounts of cash into this market to dilute the dollar. We'll talk about that in a second. And cut rates. As a matter of fact, the president made a reference to this, going to zero with regard to the federal funds rate. Now, when this came out, again, a miracle happened. Stocks reversed in the blink of an eye. Actually, almost went positive at one point. Again, the market is driven by politics, jawboning, the Federal Reserve, and it's about to get much, much worse. So, the president is talking about price controls. Literally, price controls with regard to the price of drugs. Now, what the president will not tell you is you and me are subsidizing Big Pharma. Do you know that you and I pay for research and development? That's the truth. If you don't believe me, look it up. But our president is saying that he believes that by executive order, he's going to start price controls with regard to Big Pharma. Now, how about this with regard to Big Pharma, all of the other industries that we subsidize, and there's a lot of them. You know we also subsidize big oil too, right? You don't believe that one? Look it up. Obviously, the auto industry is being subsidized. I mean, we subsidize everything. This is not a free market economy. This is not a free market. This is socialism, communism, fascism. That's where we are at. I have a great idea with regard to all of this. How about we allow the free markets to work? Does that sound like a good idea? Or do you believe that the president is right that we should start instituting price controls like Venezuela did? Every failing economy in history, do your own research, resorts to measures like this. Price controls, cutting rates, going negative, printing cash out of thin air in epic amounts. So this should tell you something, okay? Our economy is in free fall. And I just find it very disturbing that our president, and I'm not just beating up on the president because I know there's a lot of people that are going to need to run to their safe space right now, is not allowing the market to do its one and only job. That is to determine fair value. Why is it that you and me are being forced to subsidize Big Pharma and then the president wants to institute price controls? You've got to be kidding me. Why is it that, I want you to sit down. Let's think about this. Why is it that we're not allowing the free market to determine the real price of debt? These prices are being suppressed beyond, and candidate Trump called this out like with a bullhorn around the world. He literally did. To the president's credit, the man called out the action of world central banks in a big way, saying they were all suppressing interest rates, and he specifically was talking about Obama, that the Federal Reserve is suppressing rates to make Obama look good and boost the economy or make the economy look like it's actually going somewhere. I want our president to explain something to you because I already understand it, and you probably do too. How would it work if the Federal Reserve would actually go to zero with regard to the federal funds rate and the dollar were melted down because of more quantitative easing? How is that going to help the middle class? You understand? The president sincerely wants, and he said it, again, made reference to it, zero with regard to the federal funds rate. And he's very upset that other nations around the world, their central banks and their leaders, are melting down the value of their currency. And he made it he tweeted about this. I took a snapshot of it. I placed it all over the place. Don't believe me, but he thinks the United States should follow suit. So he wants to suck every bit of whatever purchasing power is left out of your dollar, and he wants you to believe it's good for you. No, it's not good for you. It's good for multinational corporations, period, the end, so they can continue to reap windfall profits. He will not tell you this. Not only the president won't tell you this, Larry Kudlow, no one will tell you this. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to just sit here and think about the things I'm covering right now, and it doesn't make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, you need to ponder these things more deeply. So let's think about it. The market today, dropping, boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, the president makes a reference to the federal funds rate being zero, makes a reference to the dollar being melted down lower, sucking its purchasing power, and the stock market rebounds. Doesn't that sound great to you? And then, price controls. Price controls. You cannot make this stuff up again. Picture another guy in a third world country, whatever he or she might look like, talking about price controls, talking about cutting rates to zero, talking about diluting the value of their currency. Does this sound like a booming economy to you? Or is America a third world nation? What have we become? I'm going to leave you off with that. I want you to ponder what I have just said. I want you to ponder what came out of the president's mouth today. Explain to me how this is not socialism now. Explain to me why you and I have subsidized major industries like Big Pharma. And explain to me why the president will not let the free market work. It's not capitalism that doesn't work. It's a fixed, rigged market that doesn't work. Allow the market to do its only job, and we will be fine. All the president is continuing to do, is continue to maintain zombie companies that wouldn't even exist if they weren't being subsidized or they weren't being supported by the Federal Reserve easy money policies. This is not America. This is not America. This is socialism. Period. The end. Communism, fascism. That's it. You got a boot on your throat, and you don't even know it. For the most part, people walk around. They have no idea what's going on. None. Zero whatsoever. And there's going to be that faction out here that says, yeah, price controls sound just great. While at the same time, they're being forced to subsidize Big Pharma. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of brain-dead people out here, and I mean brain-dead. Sure, let's go to zero with regard to the federal funds rate. That's really going to fix everything. Let's dilute the value of the dollar by more quantitative easing. That's going to fix everything too. You know that, right? Because this is exactly what our president wants you to believe. He really does. He thinks that you're a moron. Anyway, I don't think you're a moron. And I'm going to ask you to share this video because I think I covered a bunch of very important things here. With that said, people, it's Friday. It's Friday. So I'm going to leave you off with what I usually do. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable because it's really all that matters. With that said, I'll see you sometime over the weekend to do a Markets and Look Ahead segment. That's it. I'm out of here.